something wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong with the sound, really.
No, we can't hear you at all.
Maybe she needs to log out and log in again.
Yeah, because some problems with microphone and we hear you like with the very slow motion or something like that. So
I can hear as if it's mouse.
Okay, so she'll join us soon. Yeah. It seems like someone else, not me, pressed recording. Is that right? Yes?
You pressed recording, probably.
You can record only.
Ah, yes, really.
We can't do it.
It's strange. Maybe I did that, but I forgot. Just a second. Marina wants me to do two things altogether, you know, like both talk to you and write how many people there are, things like that. So she wants me to be like Julius Caesar.
Caesar, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So there were aims for lessons. There were lesson aims for learning objectives. And yes, you're right, they have to be smart. I'll share screens now with the explanation. Just a second. Okay, a little
Can you
higher.
hear me now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, okay. Now we can hear you. You speak like a human, and it's very good.
Not Darth Vader, yeah, from Star Wars.
Yeah. You sounded like a kind of extra, like an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. Look, we have this smart scheme here, and what word goes with S? What is it?
So specific, yeah.
M is
Measurable.
A is
Attainable, achievable.
R is
Realistic.
and T is
Time-bound, time-appropriate.
Okay, yeah. First, I'd like us to remember briefly what this means, because sometimes there are confusions, and I remember at the last lesson there was some confusion about some of the points. So, specific, what does that mean?
That the aims shouldn't be vague here, and we shouldn't try to do everything.
Yeah, and
maybe it's more about measurable.
No, it's about specific, first of all, not vague and not about everything, but about what? How do you understand whether it's specific enough?
It should be exact, something very brief and that can be clearly understood by both teacher and student.
What does it depend on?
On a topic, maybe, on a goal.
Yes, but we are exactly setting this goal. Yes. What does your goal depend on? How specific it is? For example, for some students, say, present perfect, yet just already is specific enough.
So it depends on the needs of student, yes. So because all the students are different, and we should clearly understand, yes. So what he or she needs, yes, at this time, yeah, or whether he knows already this yet already before, and we have to like specify maybe the difference between past simple and present perfect, so we can understand what he already knows and what we can add to his knowledge or her knowledge.
Sure. So first, as Helen said, not vague, but what exactly? And second, it should refer somehow, it should be connected to what the student already knows, yes, to the student's level. Okay.
Yep.
Good. Next, M, measurable. What does that mean?
The goal should be obtainable.
Just a second, we're talking about measurable first. What does it mean?
We need to know what we want to get in the end. What should be the result of it?
And how can you measure if you've achieved your goal? Yes, you're going in the right direction.
At the end of the lesson,
we will see your
give situation
exercises here.
We give situations, and then the students do what?
The students, like, we see whether they use the structure. Yes, so last lesson I remember you gave example. I wasn't present, but you gave example, would you mind? Yes, and you asked to borrow a pen or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so you want to see whether the student clearly gets the idea of using this phrase. So you give the situation, and after that you measure whether the student was able to obtain this knowledge like fully, or you will have to continue this topic the next lesson.
Yeah, there has to be a situation, and you see if the student manages in this situation and uses this language in this situation. Okay, good. Next, attainable and achievable.
Again, according to your level. Yeah, so you have to clearly understand the level of student and to get the material that can be achievable to student. Yes, so if he is pre-intermediate, so something in the middle, yes, you don't have to take material that is too easy or too difficult.
Yeah,
and I can add, if the student is able to use these constructions already, so we can admit that this goal is attainable or achievable.
Yes, that's right. But the problem is that we need to understand it before we start the lesson, right?
Yeah.
And this is where we analyze what the student already knows.
Yeah, and if it's possible to achieve this goal.
Yeah, and this goal should be motivating, because, like, not to discourage our students.
Yeah. To encourage.
Yes, it's closely connected with attainable and achievable, because if it's too difficult and the student is not able to do this within this hour, our lessons are mostly 1 hour long, then it can be discouraging. Yes, that's right. Okay, next, realistic. That's an interesting point.
How he or she can use it in real life. Yes, so it should be useful, let's say, and just not to practice it during the lesson, because I have a student that, like, we study a lot of material during the lesson, and when I ask him, so, like, have you ever used this structure in your real life? No, I don't need it. So just during the lesson, like, so there is no point. He can use easier structures, and he just uses them during the lesson to show me that he knows it. So like, but it's like a special student, I would say.
And may I add something? I have another example. I have a student who is like elementary student, business English, and the specific of her job is road building, construction. And like when we studied the process of making something, like the first, the second, then, and we discussed the process of making roads, and it was really necessary for her. Like when I planned my lesson, I tried to find something like really useful for her business.
So my student is also business English, by the way.
Yeah, just I knew that she's like her job is like this connected to road building. That's why I tried to find something that is labeled.
I see that you definitely got the idea that some people confuse attainable and realistic, but here realistic means that there is a real life situation which this exactly student can use in their life.
Yep.
In the future.
Okay, so should we avoid some topics? If
If
they are not realistic today.
Well, for example, if you have a lesson with me, please don't teach me anything about football. Well, maybe, like briefly, some on the surface, but don't go deep. But perhaps you have a student who will definitely speak to someone about football in Manchester when they travel to Manchester. Then you will probably provide them with a lot of vocabulary and information. So this is what it's about. You might avoid, but well, you look at the student, what they are interested in. And someone was saying something. I guess it was Julia, right? No? Oh, Julia forgot. Okay. Okay, good. And the last one, time bound or time appropriate.
So you should have like enough time to achieve this aim, or what, like during the lesson?
Kind of vice versa.
Vice versa?
Vice versa, yeah.
You have to plan this time to achieve this aim. No?
Can you repeat, please? I lost it.
It's like you have to plan time to achieve this aim. For example, for this topic, I need like 1 month.
We're talking about like lesson aims, and time bound. It's vice versa. You have this time span. For example, a 1-hour lesson or a 2 months course. You can set aims for this 2 months course. And time bound is not that you plan how much time you need for this topic, but you have this time and you assess whether it's possible to reach this goal within this time or not. So vice versa. So if you are thinking about one lesson, you remember your student and you think, well, will this specific student be able to perform this realistic situation within this 1 hour? Or the student usually has problems and I need to shorten it, and maybe I won't be
or to divide into 2 lessons or something like that, to split it into smaller topics.
So of course everything is closely connected to the student. You can think like in general, but mostly it's connected to the student. Okay, so clear now. Questions, comments?
Sorry?
Everything is clear?
Yeah, it's clear, yeah.
Okay, yeah, the Zariana's sound is a bit low, so if you speak, please speak up because I might miss it.
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh, now it's better. Okay, good. Just to remember, those who were present or who watched the video, here are some of the examples from the last session, and what I want us to understand is what's special about them. To remember what's special about the text of the lesson aim.
First is communicative goal, and then is target language.
Okay. What do you mean by communicative aim?
Like something by the end of the lesson, something they have to speak about, to how they can use this target language in their life.
In SMART, which word is connected with it?
Realistic.
Realistic, yeah.
Realistic, yes. So it's the situation or a specific skill. Like if it's target language, there will be a situation, and if it's reading or listening or writing, well, writing is still a situation, but reading or listening is just a skill. Okay, and so it has 2 parts, right? And one is a skill or a situation, the other is a tool, a language tool. Okay, and what does each aim begin with?
Student will be able to? No, yeah.
Yes, and why is it important? Let's remember briefly. How does it help the teacher?
It makes the aim more clear and like
measurable.
Measurable, yeah.
Okay, yes, but
so we can measure if he or she is able to do something.
Ability, yes. So we help student to gain new abilities. So I don't know.
I would say, well, what you're saying is totally right. I would say that it's about the focus. This beginning helps the teacher to focus on the student rather than on the teacher. So if you always put it at the beginning, then when setting the aim, you will be thinking about the student, what the student will be able to do, not you. Okay, very good. So remember briefly, and now we're going to, we're going to present your aims. Remember, it was kind of homework. Helen has surprised eyes.
Yeah.
Yes, we were not expected to present something today.
Okay, so
maybe I missed something really.
Yes, you left.
Yeah, she had to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you have an excuse, lucky you. Okay, how about the others? Raise your hands, those who remember.
I wasn't present, but I am kind of ready, and I hope that you will not judge me too strictly.
Yeah. We're going. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, Zarana, how about you? Are you ready with the aim?
Well, yes, frankly speaking, I didn't think about it for today at all, because last time when you had the second class, or so-called seminar, yes, I was far away and I still forgot about this story. You can actually, if you wish to need to present something, yes, tell me that, give me some, just explain me what I need to present, and I will try to do it on the spot.
Well, it's not so easy on the spot, but I know we'll try to do something. So, Lena and Julia are ready, and look what we do. First, I need to find chat. Perhaps I need to stop sharing, right?
Yeah.
Stop sharing.
Chat.
Chat. We can use chat now.
Yeah. So on the bottom, you will see chat. You have buttons like record, then chat, then share screen on the bottom. Maybe.
Yes, but it wouldn't show while I'm sharing the screen. So I'll stop share. You don't actually need these examples anymore, I guess. Oh, now I can see everything. Chat. So I want to volunteer. Who will type their aim into our chat? We will all look at it and see if it's okay. See if it's okay as it is, or we need to change something.
Shall we type something now?
Yes. Who wants to be
our aims? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I see that Julia is the first one.
Yeah. So Julia, are you doing that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm typing mine. So you can type as well, so we can just we will just find something one name.
Let's do it one by one, and I'll tell you why. You will have a chance to change something. The first one doesn't have a chance to change it, but the others will.
How long should it be?
The aim?
Just 2 sentences.
In fact, it's one sentence. Remember that it consists of 2 parts, and it's
2 parts. I meant 2 parts.
Yeah. So it's like, for example, students will be able to, for example, order a meal. The situation, order a meal in a restaurant, using. I'd like some. Blah, blah, blah. In fact, it's one sentence. But I want it to be really applicable to your lessons. So you have to look at one of your lessons and like see what aims you may set for your students' lessons. Julia, how are you?
I'm typing.
That is big.
Yeah, because I wrote quite short, and I'm not sure if I got it right.
Yeah. So, but in fact, I think it's just that Julia can't type very fast. How are you?
Like that.
Okay. Okay. By the end of the lesson, okay. I have this formula, which was given to me. Look. Now we look at this aim, and we all need to think whether it's smart, and then we'll discuss. Okay.
Forms, not form, but forms.
Yeah.
Just I tried to type as quickly as it's possible.
Oh well, okay. It's a bit.
Past forms, yeah.
Okay, very good. Now let's get together and think. How specific is this aim?
Pretty specific. Specific tense, specific situation.
What situation is there, Helen? What exactly?
last weekend, description of last weekend.
So
and decide who had.
Yeah. So discuss and decide who had the best or the worst. Okay. Very specific, I think. Okay. How about measurable?
Maybe vocabulary used for describing weekend, maybe phrases they learned, and of course grammar, using affirmative, negative, and question forms. If they are able to use it properly or not, according to the topic.
So at the end of the lesson, like maybe there will be situation given to the student, and so let's decide at the end. Yes, who can tell me like who had the best and the worst weekend? So they will describe it, and Julia will measure. Yes, if they are able to use these past tense forms.
Yeah. So there is a clear situation from which Julia will see if the students are able to use this or not. Yes, okay.
And questions by asking who had the best weekend.
To check understanding.
In fact, the teacher is present during the lesson, and yes, of course, you will ask this question at the end, but you will also be listening what the students are saying.
No, students can ask, not me.
Sure. But yeah, like I mean that how you will see that they're using affirmative, negative, and question form is that you will be listening to them while they are.
I will mention, yeah, of course.
Okay, very good. Then smart, attainable or achievable. What level are your students? The students you have in mind?
This one is pre-intermediate level.
Pre-intermediate. So what do you think, ladies? Is it achievable for
Absolutely.
a 1 hour lesson?
Yeah, so she will know, yes, what are the gaps in the knowledge, because sometimes this pre-intermediate, they kind of have a lot of gaps, yes, during this. So these structures, ED, second form, and so on. So after that, she will see.
Yeah, but probably the teacher knows. Student. Yes, and for a pre-intermediate student, that will be a kind of revision anyway. So perhaps with some mistakes, which is acceptable at this level, but they should be able to revise it, and within 1 hour, it seems possible. Okay, next, realistic.
Definitely.
Everybody has a weekend.
And everybody wants to tell each other about weekends, right?
Because everybody is interested in other people's lives, yes, so they always want to know more and more about other people, so why not? Definitely realistic.
Or tell about themselves, right? Okay, so, and time bound within 1 hour. One hour lesson, right?
1 hour lesson.
If it's pre-intermediate, absolutely.
Absolutely, yes, I agree.
Definitely.
As a revision. Very good. Look, Julia wrote this aim for students. How about, how could we change it and adapt it to our like Sky Age context, where we have individual classes? So this aim is all right, everything's all right, but how could we adapt it to our situation? How would you change this aim?
For
First
teachers,
of all,
you
we
mean,
can discuss together with teacher. So student can ask questions and teacher can answer, and in the end, again, we can make this comparison. So we can leave it the same, and it will suit us.
Think so? So perhaps we then will think that the student will be able maybe to ask the teacher about their weekend and tell and answer questions about their weekend, like that, right? So just a little bit. Is that, to me, this description of a situation, what exactly is going to happen, whether the students discuss themselves or the teacher or the student asks questions and answers questions, this helped me plan and like imagine this final task. So just a little change for different kinds of lessons. All right, thank you very much. Now, everybody else, you have one more model of a good aim, and you have like maybe half a minute to look at your other aims. Lena can look at hers. Helen can think and start writing. Perhaps you'll have time to give us something later. And Zarina can think of her aim too.
And we have Natalie as well with us.
Natalie?
Yeah, we've got 6 participants now.
Oh, no. Natalia, but I can't see her and they can't hear you. 6 participants together with me, you mean, right?
Yeah.
4 teachers. Natalia doesn't want to be seen. She's very secretive. Natalia, we know you are here anyway. And we hope you'll join us one day. And we'll enjoy your company as well as you enjoy ours. Okay, good. So you have a chance to look at your aim, Lena. Do you want to change anything? Or
no, I have already edited somehow, yes, in this way, so I hope it will be fine. So, at the end of the lesson, students will be able to describe his or her work and current activities using present simple and continuous. So this is pre-intermediate student, business English student. This way.
So, ladies, how specific, how measurable, how attainable, realistic, and time-bound is it?
Oh, Anna, now.
What?
Now I can see it.
Okay.
Here, that is easier.
Yes, it's there in the chat. It was perhaps a little late. So, what do you think? Okay, how specific is this aim? Is it specific enough?
Yeah, specific is like present simple. They have tenses there to use. Maybe to add like negative, affirmative forms, maybe questions, what to use in the present.
Yeah, so like describing, I think it's more about positive and negative sense. Maybe should be added. Yeah, positive and negative. Yeah, but not questions. Yeah. But maybe questions as well if they want to ask about ask other students. Yeah.
But you need to know what you want to hear, because if you also want to include questions, then you will have to change the situation.
Yeah.
Not to describe, but for example, to interview their partner about their work.
Okay, so then maybe in the end I should add current activities using present simple and continuous negatives and affirmatives, something like that.
For example, yes. It's for you to understand that if, for example, you finish writing your aim and you realize that you also need questions, then you go back and change the situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is, we thought this is specific and we made it better, a little better, right? Okay. Then how measurable is it?
Measurable. In the end, we can hear if the person can do it. Sure, it's measurable. There can be some role play.
Yeah, I gave the situation, I gave like project 1, project 2, there were 2 students, they had like the things that they are doing currently on this project and so on, and they like I was the second student, yes, and we we had a conversation, yes, so like we asked each other and we gave information about what we were doing about that or that project.
Okay, so first you described your
Yeah, it was a discussion. Yeah, so it was project 1, project 2, and yeah, so there were a list of things that are being done on project 1 and project 2. So he described project 2, I described project 1, and we asked questions.
And did you have to describe your usual work responsibilities?
Yeah, I described also, so I used state verbs. Yes, I used state verbs. So it was maybe I have to clarify also the usage of state verbs: need, want, understand, and so on. So maybe it should be also clarified in the aim of a project aim. Yes, I mean.
And that's
yeah,
why
so
you need
I forgot
simple.
this one. Yeah, yes. So maybe present simple, and in the brackets I have to specify state verbs.
Maybe
Like something like that.
Because if you put just present simple, then I think that in your situation, in the first part of the aim, there has to be something about their regular responsibilities.
Yeah, so here that's why I have to specify it as well. So present simple state verbs and continuous negatives and affirmatives in this way. So because some quite often they forget. So I'm needing, yes, and so on. They think that it's okay
now
to use.
I see. Now I see why. Because
I just forgot this point. Yeah.
Okay. Then that was measurable. Pre-intermediate students, you say, right? Is the same achievable by such student?
Yeah, achievable.
Quite.
Sure, it's achievable.
Realistic?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
It's like business English, of course. It's realistic for them because they need to talk about.
Let's think about realistic and when we speak about business English, of course they need it. They need everything. But let's think in which exactly life situation would a student need to describe their work and current activities? Like why?
Conferences, yeah, so if they have some conference or they have some meetings where they have to talk about projects that they are working on, so like this student, he has such meetings quite often, and because he has to report to his director about his work that is done. So in this situation, yeah.
So, like, for example, they would be talking with their boss and telling, okay, currently we are doing this and that.
Or even they can use the situation of elevator speech. Do you know when they have like 30 seconds to speak about themselves, to present themselves? Elevator speech, it's a really good situation for this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm asking this question, like, where exactly? For you to understand, and probably not for you to understand, but for you to help your students understand why they need it. Because, okay, we describe it, and what? Okay, why do I need it? Sometimes students ask it, and they don't want to study this topic because they don't understand what they are going to do with it. Yes. And sometimes they don't ask it, but you could tell it anyway. It's a good idea to highlight these situations for them because it's a good motivation tool. Like even if they didn't ask, there are students who are happy to absorb everything. Perfect students. But still, if you highlight this, there are two things. First, it's motivation, and second, when they get into the situation, they will remember your words and they will remember your lessons. Close.
Definitely.
Okay, very good. I see that Zarina has volunteered with the next one.
Yeah, because I need to finish at 6 as I have a class. That's why I decided to write now, in order not to ask at the end of the lesson.
Okay, yeah, I see. That's a good decision then. Let's look at this aim and once again analyze how smart it is.
That's really big.
What level is the student? Have I misheard?
It's pre-intermediate.
Pre-intermediate.
Pre-intermediate too. Okay. It's so long, I need time to concentrate.
At the end, 1 to 3, it's examples actually.
Mm-hmm.
What should they
Different situations.
what they should be able to speak about in these situations?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Okay, pre-intermediate student. And you said 1, 2, 3, they are examples. However, look, when you're planning a lesson, I like to know, for one lesson. Sorry?
No, 1 to 3, this is open discussion for the beginning, actually, yes? Open discussion for students to talk for a minute about each of the following. Yeah. So first, they should speak about these things as they are able to speak without knowing grammar constructions, and so on. And only then we should proceed to the difference between present continuous, present simple for future plans, going to plus infinitive, will plus infinitive. And only after that to start giving some examples of their personal ones. Yeah.
So it's a kind of test, teach, test, right? So first
no, it's like warm up. Yeah, it's a kind of a warm up.
Okay.
It's warming up on.
Yeah.
So I believe that's not the first lesson when you see future. Yes, with the
First lesson.
First lesson.
And how
So
can
for
you warm up
pre-intermediate,
talking about range?
Yeah, pre-intermediate, like it's difficult to predict.
Yes, very simple. For as I have written already, for each function, actually each function of this present simple for timetables, for example, I can say very simple in one sentence. Yeah. For example, then present continuous for fixed arrangements. For example, I'm meeting and tomorrow at 6. Yeah. For example. Yeah. And all the rest going to plus infinitive for past tense, as I have written, and will plus infinitive for future predictions. It should be enough in order they could provide these examples on their own, just how they can do it, and only then we should go and discuss all functions of these tenses for future plans in details. Yeah.
Well, I'm a little bit at a loss because first we have 3 situations, and then we have so many grammar points together. And you're saying that it's the first topic, the first lesson about this topic. Yes. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Have a look. For example, no, imagine that we talk about individual students, right? Not about group.
Sure.
Even it doesn't matter, even it is a group or, for example, one student. If it is one student, I can ask your arrangements for this evening. The student says his or her arrangements for this evening using, for example, going to. Yes, I'm going to something, anything he wishes or she wishes to tell. Then I ask your intentions for the rest of the year. So here, the student
I'm sorry, I have a question. And at first, do you present them some example or
yes,
structure?
Of course. I present.
So you give example and
I present diagram on the board, so-called on the board.
Yeah.
Have the board here like that. Yes. And I give all these tenses present. It's a like diagram. Present simple, present continuous, going to plus infinitive, will plus infinitive, with functions and examples. And only then the student can just prepare something on his own, for example, about his evening, about intentions for the year, and some predictions for the planet. It's global, of course, but still it's quite interesting and involves students into discussion. It's open discussion.
So as I understand it, so this lesson will be like a revision or a summary lesson after you've learned all these functions separately, right? For a pre-intermediate student.
it's first.
No, it's first class. It's first class.
but for pre-intermediate, it's quite.
Yeah, especially this will plus like ing form.
Again,
You should try record and we will see it, how it
Ah,
works.
yeah, okay, of course. Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Actually, we don't
I
understand.
practice it very often, yes. I
Yes,
practice
yes. Okay, I see. Perhaps we have a very different vision of lessons with Zaryan, and that's why we can't really get it. Yes, and we'll see. Well, it might well be quite efficient, but we just need to see it. Yes.
maybe I can, if I am able now, but I have this on this computer, well, I can show you my plan, lesson plan, actually, for these kind of methods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later we're going to deal with lesson plans.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
have special lesson plan.
Yes, and also, I will personally, I will definitely be able to look at your lesson plan when you send me the video, yes, for revision.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I'm sorry, we are dealing with lesson aims, and you see that everyone here is a bit surprised with the amount of material for pre-intermediate student at the first lesson, right? And so,
it's only grammar. It's only grammar. Simply how to use these constructions for future plans.
So will you have just some only exercises?
Only present grammar for future plans. Yes, going to, will, for future plans only.
So will you have any audio, any text, anything to like somehow
Present it.
present, yeah? Or just grammar exercises and that's all?
No, if we, first of all, this exact task, actually we should present only one aim. I can't present all aims, yeah? So I decided to present grammar aim, because as you see, the previous aims are also
Sure, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
it's only grammar aim, only one grammar aim, yeah.
Okay. So let's go together. Let's go through the smart points together and see how specific is this aim.
It's specific, but I would rather change the structure, like use the form.
You disappeared for a second, and exactly for that second when you were speaking. Can you please repeat?
I would rather change it using the formula you gave us in our previous.
So how?
Because it's like.
Vice versa.
Because now we have, I would rather use like the students would be able to talk about the future, like unspecified, about their arrangements for the evening, intentions for the rest of the year, predictions for the blah, 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 and then using past simple, present continuous, going to blah, 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 and something.
Yeah, so as you told,
and that's why
Julia,
it was difficult for us to understand this, but because the formula was a little bit different.
Yes, Zaryan changed places. Like first she put target language, and then she put like these realistic aims.
It was a part of the situation about the future. Then was target language, then a situation again. So basically, the situation, target language. That's it. It's very specific, I guess. A lot of
okay, and why is it important to put the situation first? For the teacher, why is it important to have it first?
Because you can see how the student can use it in real life. So it's like you can see how realistic it is. Because yeah, it's cool that you can use all these structures. Yes, you know all the grammar. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, but so what? Yeah, maybe he or she will not use it ever in the future, or he will just use it for you during the lesson, and during his real life, he will say just everything using will, and that's all.
Yes, totally. That situation should go first. Yes.
Yeah, because it's more important than the grammar. Very often, your students will not use a lot of new grammar when speaking about their plans. But it's success if they understand that if they speak about plans, they can say, "I'm planning, I plan, I'm going to,
I hope,
doing."
and so on. Yeah.
Yes. So if they use this all, but they understand that this is one of the examples of grammar, it's okay. Situation comes first. Okay. About specific, yes, like everything is there. How about measurable?
if we have, if the student is able to speak for 1 minute in the end, then it's measurable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the teacher will see that the student can actually speak for 3 minutes about one topic, then about the next one, and then about the final one. Okay, right. What's next? Attainable and achievable.
Depends on student. Like if the student has already faced this grammar previously, then yeah, it's like kind of revision and it can be like quite attainable. But if it is the first class, maybe we will need to have one more lesson just to have additional practice.
Yes, agree. But for actually, in order it could be easier for them to practice it and to remember, I can, as we talk about, for example, individual students, so I should provide some own examples, for example, and ask the student, now, can you just tell me what are, for example, my plans or my arrangements for this evening, for example, Ola, or something like that, you know, or just repeat this example of the student in order the student could repeat mine. Yes, if
Yeah, but is it possible to do everything in one lesson? Because you have to present grammar to practice
form,
it.
meaning, form, pronunciation, everything.
Actually, it might just like in my according to my vision, it should be like have 4 stages. Yeah, like grammar points, so situations, so-called target language. Then give explanation grammar. Yes, explain we use which construction for what. Give example. Then maybe practice it somehow in order to the student understands how it works, speaking in real life, and then to give some tasks, some maybe situations also, and at the end, as a conclusion, to give my own examples for students from real life, and ask her to repeat what I have said, for example, and I should repeat what he has told me about.
Yeah, so it definitely seems like it's a revision lesson, or it's not a pre-intermediate.
No, it's pre-intermediate. This topic is
so high pre-intermediate. I would say.
First lesson after elementary.
It depends on. Well, I agree that it depends on a student, because if it is a student even of pre-level, for example, but some students really maybe can't be able to to cover maybe all this information. So in this case, we can split it into 2 parts. Then yes,
so
it depends totally on the student.
So I really hope that you are keeping a specific student in mind who are really able to do that, because you see, we have 5 other teachers, right? Natalia has disappeared. 4 other teachers who believe that it's not possible for a first lesson of this grammar.
Usually yes, I split it into 2 parts if I see the student can't cover it.
Well, I would split it into maybe 4 parts, or maybe 5 even. But okay, if you keep a specific student in mind and they coped, well, feel free. Just student comes first. Student comes first, situation comes next, and only then the target language. Okay, good. And how realistic is it?
Very.
Yeah, really, it's realistic. To speak about all the arrangements. Good.
Intention.
Even we discussed like that stuff today at the beginning. Going to Georgia, for example.
Yes. Okay. And finally, time bound. Well, I guess the answer will be the same. We all doubt. Zarina is optimistic. And, I'd like to see that, as somebody said, right? And at the same time, I'd like, I hope that this specific student will manage or has managed to do that. Okay.
Well, I guess it's better for revision. Yes, for revision class. Because the volume of information for the first digestion will be too much, a lot.
Or the student who is quite close to intermediate level and who is like reaching almost intermediate, then maybe it's yes.
Okay. At last we have come to a common conclusion. about it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and Zariana has agreed with us. Okay, we have 4 aims. We have 3 aims, but we have 4 people.
I
Helen,
can
did you?
send. I wrote my aim. We can.
Okay, so let's look at it. Mhm. Okay, so how specific is it?
I'm very sorry. Well, if you don't mind, I thank you all for attention. Yes, but I need to go because I need to prepare for class. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. See
See
you.
at the
Bye
next
bye.
seminar.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, so let's look at it. And how specific is it?
Yeah. Specific.
So
wishes. Person and regrets in present past. Yeah. So specific, I'd say.
I would actually add, I wish if only, well, we teachers know that, but, well, I would add this, what's there, help me, past simple and past perfect, right?
Past simple and, yeah, past simple
I
and
wish I
past
had perfect. Past participle, yeah.
Yeah.
Past
Right.
simple
And
and
would
full
also.
construction.
And
Yeah,
would
yeah,
also, yeah. So if you
would.
talk about others.
yes, and would.
I
Would too.
didn't plan would here.
Sorry, okay.
Because your student has
It is
to
like
talk
the
about
second conditional only.
Yeah.
The second conditional.
I wish I
Second
could. I
conditional.
wish.
I wish I could.
I wish I could, and I wish I
no.
went. I wish I. Wait.
Yes.
And
I wish I went. I
had
wish I
gone.
were. And
I wish I
would.
had gone.
And
Yes.
I wish
I had gone.
It's when we regret about past.
Yes.
And I wish I would if when we want to express that we are annoyed. with
Annoyed, or
something.
we can't
But
change
it
the
is-
situation.
No, it's not conditional.
Yeah,
It's just construction. It's not related to conditional.
but
Well,
would it's like about something different.
Yeah, it's about dreams, and it is related to conditionals, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Because
is a linguistic discussion.
we can discuss that. It's like about the grammar.
Yes. What you are starting is a linguistic discussion.
Yeah.
Some people say that there are 9 tenses, and others say that there are 3. So let's not do that. Okay. All right, good. So I would personally add that I want to hear both past simple and past perfect.
So I wish if only plus past simple
Yes,
and past
yes.
perfect. So just add this information at the end.
Yes, I would do that to be safe. You know, like to make sure that I will be able that I won't miss this when my students perform, and I won't miss it in my plan. Okay. All right. Specific, right?
Yeah.
Clear that then perfectly specific. Okay. How about measurable?
Yeah. So again, situation. The end. Yeah. So what
can
is?
share.
Yeah. Your regret. Yeah. Last regret or something like that. Yeah. So you can role play the situation or something like anything.
Okay. Then what's that? What the student's level?
Attainable.
Yeah. So what's the student's level?
Intermediate.
Intermediate. So
Attainable.
yeah, they are
Definitely.
already familiar with all, probably all past forms, right?
Yeah.
Or most of them. Okay, and they will be able to, and probably with conditionals too. So it will
As well. Yeah.
Yes, but really, in my lesson, I wouldn't speak about conditionals. Just about dreams, really.
Sure. Yeah. Look, some teachers connected with conditionals, and others don't.
Others.
You just remember which construction goes after that, and that's it. Just remember past. Just remember if you're talking about the present or the past, present, future, or the past. Okay, good. And next is realistic. Let's talk about it a little bit here.
It's realistic to speak about the wishes and sometimes regrets. Sometimes they don't want to share their regrets, but I guess adults willingly share their regrets.
Yeah.
It's difficult to talk about regrets with teens, for example, with children, but we can also use the situation, happiness in disguise. When something that happened, but now we have like a good result.
Look what I'm thinking about. On the one hand, I can't say that there's something wrong with this situation. On the other hand, I myself prefer to literally write the situation, the realistic situation, into my aim. To make sure that it is realistic. For example, let's think about a realistic situation in which a person would both express their wishes for the future and speak about their regrets about the past. So what kind of situation
No,
would
really,
that be?
I can tell you situation,
Okay.
even example about me.
Okay,
I wish I
that's
were
good.
thinner,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish I hadn't eaten that cake yesterday. So
Why
that's
would you
really
say this?
easy.
Yeah, but why would you say this? Like, in what kind of conversation? In what kind
With
of a
any
situation?
of my friends to discuss it. Really, it's possible.
Yeah,
Yes, of
about
course, but
holiday as well. About your last holiday, for example, I wish I had gone to, I don't know, Maldives, for example. Yes, but I went to Odessa last summer and so on. Yes, so
oh,
you can talk about this because you didn't have enough money for that. Yes, so I
okay.
wish, yes, you talk about your holiday in this one. About regrets, also maybe you had to change job. Yes, but you didn't do it. Yes, and now you are not satisfied with what you have.
Look. We have both of them in one conversation. That's
Okay,
the idea.
that's the
In
point.
what
Yes,
kind
so
of a
regret
conversation
and you
could you?
regret that you didn't, for example, take your camera with you because you couldn't take a lot of photos during your last holiday.
Yeah.
And that's why now you
Yeah,
need to
You
remember
wish
about
to
it.
have it.
you wish, yes. So I wish I had gone, and I wish, and if only I had taken my camera
Yeah.
with me.
It's like it can be a dream about your
Yeah,
weekend and like to analyze the mistakes of the previous weekend,
yes.
so to take them into account now.
Compare. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
okay. So now we have three realistic situations. We have one about a holiday, like future or past.
Yep.
So what exactly will your student be able to talk about? They will be able to talk about their wishes for the future holidays, for example, taking into account their regrets about the previous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same about the job, and you said the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if I look at this, well, any trainer would say, well, it's perfect. But I personally prefer to have this, like, what exactly?
More specific. Yeah, even.
Yeah, even more specific, even like a realistic situation. Because, of course, you can say these random sentences about what, like, your free time today and your cake yesterday, for example. But why would you actually say them together? And when you create this situation, a student has a clear picture, like in which situation they can use that.
Okay.
Okay, well, very good.
Realistic and time bound, time appropriate. Yeah, so for intermediate, it's okay.
For intermediate, definitely so. Okay, well, what can I say? First, I'd like to say that we had just 4 aims. But they all were very interesting to analyze. They all had very positive things in them, yes, and you demonstrated a clear understanding of what is needed. And we also had the chance to make them even better. Okay, and so I had this question and I'll ask it. So, has anyone tried applying these aims and writing these aims for their lessons like regularly now? Has anyone?
I always have these aims in my head. Always, I always see the situation. What for to do to have this lesson? Because it's like the most important.
Anybody
Yes,
else?
I also like set the aim for a lesson. Maybe I didn't do it the right way. Yes, and after analyzing this everything and having seen this video, yeah, I would do it like in more exact, specific, yes, and so on. Yeah, but so I will just improve my aims. Yeah, for not my aims, but aims for students. Yes, and for this lesson, definitely.
Okay, and Julia already does it regularly, and how helpful do you find it? Do you find it helpful or just extra?
Yeah, of course, it's
paperwork?
helpful. Yeah, it's like motivating for students. First of all, they know what to do, what they learn English for, and how they can apply it in their real life. Because this situation is really important. And this grammar, it helps me to see how I can measure their knowledge. Of course.
Yeah, and it depends, of course, on motivation of a student. So if the student is really motivated, so this aim together with his or her motivation, it will work really perfectly. But if you put this aim and the student is like, okay, yeah, and almost sleeping on your lesson, so how hard you try, yes, it's like really sometimes difficult.
Yeah,
that's why we have to find the situation which is interesting for our students. Like I have Danny who is interested in Japanese culture, and I always try to find something about anime.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So, and what you're talking about is R, realistic.
Yeah,
So,
yes, realistic.
And when you think about all the smart letters, then and you apply it to your specific student, then it should be helpful, not only to the student but also to the teacher. Helps you structure it, helps you be focused and not, deviate, and well, should make your life as a teacher easy.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you too very much. It was really useful and interesting as usual. Yeah. So looking forward to next lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Practical part
Thank you
is great,
too.
Thank
really.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. See you next
Goodbye.
time.
Have a good evening, ladies.
You too.
Yeah. Thanks you too. Bye.